Sripada Sri Vallabha Charitamritam, Chapter 5. Arrival of Shankara Bhatt at Tirupati. Visits Tirumaladas at Kanipakam. The prevention of harassment of Saturn by the mercy of Sripada. In my itinerary, I reached the sacred Tirupati Mahakshetra. I felt some inexplicable peace of mind. I took bath in the Pushkarni of Tirumala. I had darshan of Sri Venkateshwara and went into meditation in temple premises. In meditation, I found Sri Venkateshwara as a female. That icon, which appeared as Bala Tripura Sundari, changed into the form of Parameshwara within seconds. After some, it changed as Mahavishnu. After meditation for some more time, that statue appeared like a handsome young yogi of 16 years. That looks of a child, yeti, are full of nectar. Affectionate love of 1,000 mothers was emanating from his two eyes. In the meanwhile, a black, ugly one approached the young sage. That ugly person said to the young yeti, "Lord Sripada Shivallabha, you are a master of the universe. From today, the period of 7.5 years, Saturn period, is beginning to your devotee Shankara Bhatt. I will put him to all troubles that are possible in this world. I am standing for the orders of the Lord." The compassionate Lord said, "Shaneshwara, you are the cause for destiny. You make the people experience the consequences of their deeds and release them from the bonds of karma. You carry on your duty, as I have a vow to protect Asrita Bhakta Jana. You see in which way I protect and release Shankara Bhatt from the troubles you inflict on him." After this conversation of Sripada and Shaneshwara, both disappeared from my meditation. It became difficult to meditate upon the idol of God afterwards. I understood that difficult times were ahead and that Sripada would rescue me from troubles. I came to Tirupati from Tirumala. In the streets of Tirupati, I was wandering as I liked. Mind was wavering. One barber forcibly stopped me and said, "Are you not Subbaya who absconded from house 20 years ago? Your parents became worried. Your wife attained puberty. She came of age. Therefore, you accept her and live happily with children." The barber thundered in demanding speech. Then I explained, "Sir, I am a Brahmin from Karnataka named Shankara Bhatt. I am a traveler visiting holy places. I am a devotee of Datta. Having heard that Lord Datta incarnated as Sripada Srivallabha, I am going to Kuragudda. I swear on Holy Gayatri, I am a bachelor. I am not at all the Baba Subbaya that you are all assuming." He did not pay heed to my words. Many people gathered there. All of them were abusing me. Each one was abusing me in his own way. They took me to the house of Subbaya. The parents of Subbaya regarded me as their own son and requested me in many ways. They were telling me moral principles, that I should not desert them, and that it is heinous crime to abandon a wife who attained maturity. One of them pointed out that Subbaya became nasty with grown beard and moustache and suggested that a clean shave would restore his normal personality. They did not hear to me even though I was remonstrating. Forcibly they shaved my head. My beard and my moustache were removed. They also removed the sacred Yagnopavita from my shoulders. They summoned a sorcerer known to them to treat me. That person wore strange costumes. His dreadful looks pierced my heart and caused intense pain. They bound my hand and foot and made wounds on my scalp with a sharp knife. They applied lemon juice and other juices to those wounds. I was suffering unbearable pain. They decided that a Brahmin devil possessed Subbaya after he left home, and for that reason Subbaya wore a sacred thread and started chanting mantras. The Brahmin community in Tirupati also kept mum. They thought that the traveler in the town was Subbaya and that a Brahmin ghost took possession of him. When I was taken to the Brahmin elders in the town, I told them that I was from Karnataka, a Smartha Brahmin belonging to the lineage of Bharadwaja, and that I knew Namaka Chamaka mantras and I performed Sandhya Vandana daily. Those Brahmin elders did not believe me. They told that a Kannada Brahmin devil caught me and with correct treatment I should be made a normal person. I fainted from the pain caused by the wounds. My lamentation became a cry of wilderness. When I came back to senses, I understood that an ugly person with black aura resembling me sat opposite to me. He did not speak anything with me but simply merged in me. He became one with me. It occurred to me that due to the influence of Saturn, my fate turned topsy turvy, and that 7.5 years period would be an extraordinary difficult time for me, and that only Sri Pada Sri Vallabha can save me. Even in that anguish, I was mentally chanting the name of Sri Pada Sri Vallabha. As I was chanting the name of Sri Charan, my pain was diminishing. The sorcerer sacrificed chicken and goats and was conducting strange and weird rituals. I was given a regulated diet. The sorcerer decided that vegetarian food should be served to me as a Brahmin devil possessed me. I was worried that meat also might be forcibly fed to me. But on account of the mercy of Sri Pada, I was given vegetarian food. This brought some consolation to my mind. For 3 days, I underwent a hellish agony. Even in that state, I did not stop remembering the name of Sri Pada. So the pain abated from the fourth day. Queer experiments were conducted on my body. The witch doctor was dealing whiplashes also on my body. I writhed with pain and cried, Sri Pada Vallabha, Sharanu, Sharanu. How can hellish troubles torment devotees who serve Lord Datta with undivided devotion? In the meantime, a miracle took place. I did not get at least a little pain even though the blows of whip fell on my body. On the other hand, the witch doctor writhed with pain. He did not understand why he was getting the pain of the blows when he was whipping me. He was seeing me with queer looks. I noticed the divine play of Sri Pada and laughed. Even though I was eating Sikh diet, it was very delicious. I was eating meals to my heart's content. I was eating the food with the idea that it was the prasad of Sri Pada. In spite of the fact that the sorcerer was eating chicken and goats liked by him, it was turning into poisonous food. His health was deteriorating. He stopped harassing me and spending his time merely with mantras and rituals. His house was burnt on the fifth day. He commenced treatment on me. Even though no fire was ignited in the sorcerer's house on that day, fire broke out suddenly in the presence of all and it was reduced to ashes. On the sixth day, the sorcerer came to the house of Subbaya with a pale face. He told that the Brahmin ghost, who was a witch, took hold of Subbaya and that the devil burnt his house with witchcraft because he started treatment. Many rituals were to be conducted to win over many evil forces like Betala, a ghost, and for that purpose a large amount of money was required. I knew that no use was there for the treatment and that the witch doctor was making all suggestion for the greed of money. It came to my mind that nothing would be more unfortunate and treacherous than to accept a wife of Subbaya as my own, succumbing to the course of the cruel fate. I could not understand why fate was playing so mercilessly with me. I felt as if my heart was cut open with a hacksaw. I told the parents of Subbaya, my dear parents, don't fall into the magic trap of the sorcerer and sell away all your movable and immovable properties. I am considering you both as my mother and father. With that, I was freed from the sorcerer. The parents of Subbaya were happy. My eyes also became wet on seeing the happiness shining in their eyes. I prayed mentally to Sri Pada humbly to save me from a moral downfall, as the wife of another man is to be considered as a mother. So I prayed Sri Pada to save me from the impending danger. On the seventh day, when my medical treatment commenced, I said to the wife of Subbaya, who was attending upon me, "What are you thinking about me? Are you believing that I am Subbaya, really?" For that she said, "Marriage took place when I was 2 years old. Now I am 22 years old. No one except God knows whether you are my husband or not. Any male who enters fresh youth cannot remain steady when he sees his wife. Though you are undergoing all these troubles, you did not regard me as your wife. You didn't even touch me. This is possible only for those who have sublime culture. I don't have any opinion about you. I want to lead a virtuous life according to the traditions of the family. If you are my husband, don't leave this humble servant of yours. On the other hand, as my husband fled from this house 20 years back, and as my marriage took place when I was quite ignorant, you can accept me as your wife. I walk in your footsteps. Who is Sripada Shrivalabha about whom you always think? If he is a Sadguru, I will also pray to him to show an ethical solution to this knotty problem." Her argument appeared proper to me also. Then I said, "Sripada Srivallabha actually is Lord Dattatreya. He incarnated in this Kali Yuga. Now he is in Kurvapuram. He behaves according to our idea about him. If we consider him as Sadguru, he grants us experience as a Sadguru. If we consider him as Paramatma, he will prove himself as Paramatma. Good. You can also chant the name of Sripada Srivallabha. Your duty surely will be known to you. A solution acceptable to all becomes available." On that day, a Paraya Jagnam, Shaivite worshipper, came there. There were many books of palm leaves with him. He became a venerable person to all residents of that locality in a short time. He was telling past, present, and future events to all those who met him. He was telling that all those palm leaf books were Nadi books, that is, astrological books containing predictions. And it was called Ramala Science. And all the predictions from those books would take place exactly as foretold. On their request, he came to the house of Subbaya's parents. He gave some seashells to me and asked me to cast the shells on the ground. He made some calculations and took a leaf from the palm leaf books and read out as, "The questioner is a Kannada Brahmin by name Shankara Bhatt. He will write the life history of Sripada Srivallabha. In his previous birth, he and another person were born in Mogalaricharala village, situated near Kandukuru town. Both of them became very much interested in gambling. There is a famous self-manifested Datta temple in that village. He was born as a brother of that temple priest. In the absence of his brother, he was conducting temple worship and other rituals. He was indulging in gambling with his friend in the temple premises. That is highly objectionable matter. One day he played the gambling game with his friend under peculiar stipulations. If his friend were to win, this man had to give him the amount of money stipulated. If this person were to win, the friend had to hand over his wife to this gentleman. Lord Datta was the witness to this deal. They solemnly swore to that effect and gambled. Lord Datta was observing that this highly reprehensible thing was taking place in his very presence. Shankara Bhatt won in the gamble. The friend refused to make over his wife to Shankara Bhatt. The dispute was referred to elders. The elders of the caste assembled. They resolved that it was an unpardonable offense that such a misdeed took place in the very sacred presence of Lord Datta. They also resolved that hot boiled oil should be poured on the hand of Shankara Bhatt, who was enamored with the wife of another person and who wanted to enjoy her in a crooked way. They further resolved that the genitals of the friend who staked his wife should be slashed to render him impotent, and that both of them should be expelled from the village after execution of the decree. The resolution was duly executed. As Shankara Bhatt performed service to Datta, for a short while he was born in this birth as a person of with some devotion to God. His friend would take place in a Barbara's house in the holy town of Tirupati with the name of Subbaya. With mental disability, he becomes mad and runs away after marriage. The wife of Subbaya was innocent. As no offense was committed by her, the lunacy of Subbaya decreases on account of the efficiency of her matrimonially fidelity, and Subbaya returns to this place on the next day after this Ramala science is heard. Shankara would get released on that day. On account of the grace of Sripada Srivallabha, the 7.5 years duration of Saturn due to hardness, Shankar Bhatt would elapse in 7.5 days by making him suffer such above mentioned troubles. Those who swear in the name of God and make false and unrighteous declarations are severely punished by Lord Datta. For the cure of mental instability of Subbaya, some portion of the punya of Shankara Bhatt were transferred to the credit of Subbaya by Chitragupta. People should understand the fact that the influence of karma works in the most subtle way. Therefore, they should perform good deeds and refrain from doing bad deeds. The horoscope of Sripada Srivallabha reaches Pitapuram through Akshaya Kumar, a follower of Jain religion residing in Tripura province. This will happen some centuries after the incarnation of Sripada Srivallabha was concealed. Before that, a book with the title Sripada Srivallabha Charitamrutam describing the divine sportive place of Sripada comes to light. How can I describe the mercy of Srivallabha? The next day, Subbaya came to his house. His lunacy was completely cured. I treated the wife of Subbaya as my sister. I took leave from the parents of Subbaya and reached Kanipaka village in the Chittoor region. Village Kanipakam was at a short distance from Chittoor. The temples of Sri Varadarajaswamy, Sri Manikanteshwara Swami and Sri Varasiddhi Vinayaka are in that village. I came out after seeing Varasiddhi Vinayaka. A dog of big height was standing there. I was afraid and went back into the temple of Varasiddhi Vinayaka. I meditated on God for some time and came out. The dog was accompanied by another dog of the same size. I feared that I would be surely bitten by those dogs. Again, I entered the temple of Varasiddhi Vinayak. The temple priest found my behavior queer and asked, "Sir, you are repeatedly going out and coming into the temple. What is the reason?" I told him about my fear. Then that priest said, "They won't harm anyone unnecessarily. These dogs belong to the washerman. That washerman is a devotee of Datta. That washerman declares that Sri Datta has incarnated with the name of Sripada Srivallabha. Even though there is no restriction for the entry of washermen into the temple, he did not step into the temple. He sends his dog. I pack Swami's prasadam into a bundle and hand it over to the dogs. They carry the bundle and make it over to their master. You said you saw 2 dogs. I will give the prasadam only when all 4 dogs come together. Let us see whether the other 2 dogs are right." When we came out, there were 4 dogs. The 4 dogs surrounded me from all 4 directions. The priest said, "You go to that washerman as per the wish of these dogs. It augurs well for you." I realized that the events in my life were taking place according to the direction of Sri Vallabha. I felt that from the incidents at the house of Subbaya, one should not mind too much for the distinctions of caste and religion. A pariah may be born as a Brahmin in the next birth, and a Brahmin may take the birth as a pariah in his next birth. I learned that a living being amasses the virtues and sins earned by him, and with that bundle load, he wades through the stream of fate through successive births. The discussion between Shankara Bhatt and Tirumaladas. I went to the residence of the washerman according to the instructions of the priest. That washerman was around 70 years old. He came out of his hut and seated me on a cot with cordiality. Much of my pride, due to my birth as a Brahmin, was already destroyed. Whosoever they may be, all devotees of Sri Pada appeared as my close kith and kin. The washerman called Tirumaladas gave me the prasadam of Sri Varasiddhi Vinayaka temple. I accepted as prasada of Sri Pada Sri Vallabha. The advent of Ganapati of Ayanavilli as Sri Pada Sri Vallabha. Tirumaladas began to speak. Sir, today is a good day. I had the good fortune of seeing you. I am eagerly waiting to inform you about the important events of Malyadri Puri and Pitaka Puri. Shankara Bhatt, you received the prasadam of Varasiddhi Vinayak. You commence writing Sripada Sri Vallabha Charitamrutam from today. You will receive the blessings of Sri Vallabha in Kuruvapuram. I was a great Vedic scholar in my previous life, a great miser too. At that time of my death, I noticed that the calf was just born was chewing on old rag. As I concentrated my looks on the dirty linen at the time of my death, I am born as a washerman. A person gets birth according to his concentrated wishes at the time of his last breath at the final termination of this birth. Due to my punya in the past, I was born in Malyadripuram of Palnad region in Gartapuri, that is Guntur district. This Malyadripuram became Malladi in the passage of time. In that village, there were two families with their surnames as Malladi. One is the family of Malladi Bappanna Avadannulu, who was a great scholar. He belonged to the lineage of Haritasa sage. The other one was Malladi Sridhara Avidanalu, who was also a great scholar. He belonged to the lineage of Kausikasa sage. The sister of Sridhara Avidanalu, Raja Mamba, was given in marriage to Bappanna Davanulu. Both brother-in-laws were erudite pandits. Both of them went to Ainivalli village in the region of Godavari for the great sacrifice of Golden Ganapati. Some savants argued that according to scriptures, Ganapati should receive the final homam with his trunk and grant his vision of bright golden hues. The two great scholars who were officiating over the conduct of the major sacrifice swore that they would manage all proceedings strictly according to Vedic scriptures and that they would make Sri Mahaganapati emerge before their eyes. At the end of the sacrifice, Ganapati granted his vision of golden colored brilliance and accepted the last homam with his trunk. He also declared that he would incarnate on a Ganesh Chaturthi day with complete potencies and virtues shortly. All those who attended the yagna were amazed. There were 3 atheists in that congregation. They raised a controversy that all that they saw was only an exhibition of magic and hypnotism, and that Ganapati did not figure at all in the final sacrifice. They argued that if it was genuine, Ganapati should grant them proof once again. The greatness of Kanipaka Vinayaka. Then the holy ash in the sacrificial pit took a human form and changed afterwards as Mahaganapati. Then that Mahaganapati form said, "Fools! Shiva before he killed Tripurasura, Vishnu Murti before subduing Bali Chakravarti, Vishnu Murti at the time of obstructing Ravana from taking away the Atmalinga of Shiva, Parvati Devi at the time of slaying Mahishasura, Adisheshu prior to shouldering the weight of the earth, Siddhas for achieving all occult powers, Cupid for conquering the world, and all celestials in a similar way obtained their desires only after worshipping me. I am the repository of all powers. I am omnipotent. Divine forces as well as devilish forces are within me. I cause all obstacles. I am also the remover of all obstacles. Whom do you think is Dattatreya? He is verily Dharmasamstha, the son of Hari and Hara. Brahma and Rudra merged in Vishnu is the form of Datta. Ganapati and Shanmukha merge in Dharmasastha form also is the form of Datta. Know it that Datta is always a personification of the Trinity. As an indication that Mahaganapati is in the form of Sripada Srivallabha, his incarnation took place on Ganesh Chaturthi. Be it known that the traits of Subramanya solely make him a Jnana avatar, an incarnation of wisdom. Note that his aspect of Dharmasastha shows that he is the beginning and origin of all righteous activities and rituals. His ensuing incarnation is not the result of coition between parents. Illuminating light takes human form. I am cursing you. In spite of seeing with your own eyes, personification of truth, one of you uttered falsehood. He would be born blind. The other one ridiculed personification of truth instead of praising it with speech. He would be born dumb. The third one would take birth as a deaf one because he paid a deaf ear to the truth told by so many truthful devotees. The type of you would take birth as brothers, and after seeing myself manifested figure, you would be redeemed of your sins. My son, these three persons were born as brothers in Kanipakam. If the Trinity is abused, or Datta, the personification of the Trinity is abused, countless calamities occur. These brothers took land measuring one kani, a measure of land about an acre, and were cultivating it. In that field there was a ground well. They were drawing water from it with the help of a country-made lift. There was severe drought in 1 year. The groundwater level depleted. On one day, when all the water dried up, the brothers attempted to remove sand with a shovel. The shovel hit a rock under the water and blood oozed out. When his hand touched the blood, the dumb one gained speech. Water was rising in the well. The deaf one was cured of his disability on touching water. The third one, who was blind, gained sight when he touched the rock in the water. That rock is the self-manifested Vinayaka statue. As the shovel hit the rocky icon on the head, blood started streaming out from there. To install that Varasiddhi Vinayak, Satya Rushi, Bappanavadanalu and his brother-in-law Sridharavadanalu visited that village. Varasiddhi Vinayaka told that to them, I came from Mahabhumi in this world. I am incarnated in the earthen nature. This nature undergoes many changes in course of time. My advent already took place in watery, fiery, airy and heavenly natures. The holy ash in the great sacrifice conducted in Ainavalli took this form. I am instructing you about the future duties. In Sri Shaila, the degrees of potency are on the wane. You have to harness the brilliant power of the sun and deposit that power there. On the very day when you perform the Shakti Pata in Sri Shaila, by my grace, Shakti Pata takes place in Gokarna, Kashi, Badari and Kedar at the same time. The time is getting ripe for the incarnation of Sripada Srivallabha. Sridhara, I am changing your surname as Sripada. Your family members belonging to the lineage of Kaukasa shall henceforth strive with the surname of Sripada. Tirumaladas, who was a washerman, said to Shankara Bhatt, My child, Shankara, Sridharavadanalu and Bappanavadanalu migrated to Pitapuram. I witnessed many childhood plays of Sripada Srivallabha. I will narrate them with more details tomorrow. I had a boy from my first wife. His name is Ravidas. He resides in Kurvapuram village and is rendering appropriate services to Sripada. I am staying with my second wife and children in Kanipakam in obedience to the orders of Sripada. Here I am living by following my family profession. You will meet many great people in Pitakapuram. You will learn many important things on meeting the noble Vaishya, that is, a merchant, Venkatappaya Shreshti. Sripada used to call him with a change in name as Venkayappa Shreshti. The protecting hand of Sripada is available for the family of Shreshti Garu. Meet Vatshavai Narsimha Varma Garu also. He got close affinity with Sripada Swami. The book to be written by you on the life of Sripada Srivallabha will be blessed by Sri Charana. Except your written book, no other can portray the comprehensive history of Sripada Srivallabha. This is the order of Sri Charana.